Good day, everybody. My name is Dana Massett, and welcome to my Empath and Lightworker Survival Kit workshop. I love this workshop, and this is the first time I'm releasing it online. And I love to make my workshops accessible to everybody, but I've had a lot of requests that people don't live locally. So I said, okay, I'm going to put the time in today and get this recorded online so everyone can take it. I hope that you printed out your workbook. This is very important. So if you didn't, press pause and go ahead and print it out. Or if you're going to use it on your desktop and type everything in as we go, that's totally fine. I did send a Lightworker questionnaire. And if you didn't send it back to me, no worries. After this workshop, answer those 5 questions and send it back to me, because if I didn't cover one of your questions or one of your answers in the workshop, I'll actually personally respond to that and give you some advice and insight and wisdom on how you can achieve the things that you're seeking out of this workshop. Most likely, I'm going to cover some of your top issues because empaths kind of have the same issues. The questions that I had on the questionnaire, at what age did you know you were different than those around you? Tell me more. How do you manage being in large crowds? That's a huge issue for empaths. When you feel anxious, depressed, or angry, in what moments and around what people? So it's almost like, what are your triggers? What are the negatives about being an empath or light worker? This is my favorite question. And if you answer any of these questions and send it to me, please send this one. What would you like to change about being an empath? If you had 3 wishes and you could change 3 things about your experience as an empath, what would they be? My absolute favorite. My thing is, being an empath, you're going to reach a moment where being an empath is overwhelming. But the beauty of it is when you surrender and see the beauty of being an empath and a light worker, you can actually begin to shift from surviving to actually thriving. But there's like a journey that you have to take to get to that point. And we're going to go over that. So what I'm going to do is share my desktop with you guys. And we are going to begin with the presentation. At any moment, there's going to be a lot of pauses during this, and that's the date that I did the workshop most recently, so you can ignore the date. There's going to be a lot of pauses in this workshop because everyone takes their own special time to finish the exercise, so work with me. So I want to read something to you first. You are an empath, now what? What does that mean? An empath is a person that feels deeply, is connected more deeply to the energetic field, collective consciousness, and the emotional bodies of others. Thus, they hear, sense, feel what is usually unnoticeable and unknown to those that are not sensitive, or in other words, connected. It was proven a long time ago that we connect in the energetic field before the physical realm. That is why when you think of someone, they contact you shortly after, or you bump into them randomly at the store. We communicate in the field first, and those that are sensitive and plugged into the field pick up on that connections, and those that are blocked, suppressed, or choose to be disconnected do not pick up on those cues. An empath will be in an elevator with 10 people, and without speaking one word, they can feel the sadness of the young woman standing to their left, the anxiety and fears of the toddler holding the grandmother's hand, most attending his first day of school, the suppressed anger of the businessman to their right, and so on. An empath can even at times hear the thoughts going on in other people's heads, read their energy, and know the baseline of a person's life story, see and feel their shortcomings and blocks in life. And unfortunately, the empath will walk away with all 10 of those people's baggage and heavy emotions. Your typical person will stand in the elevator with 10 people stuck in their own minds, totally forgetting that there's other people in the elevator with them. They will be scanning their brain on what they have to do today, reflecting on what they did yesterday, and planning their next meal. Again, totally not feeling or thinking about anything but their own agenda and feelings. Wow, to an empath, they would wish to have a day with just feeling their own energy and emotions. Is everyone an empath? No, but if a person turns inward and begins to develop their intuition, they can actually become an empath. We are all born connected to Source, God, and universal energy, but depending on how we were raised, our environments and experiences, that determines how far removed or closer we become to Source. The closer we connect to our own divinity, the more connected we become to ourselves in all things. When we sync up with our own divinity, we not only hear our inner guide, but we can strengthen this gift and hear their inner guide in others. When you are an empath, what's very important is to know your strengths. Put words to your strengths, write them down. That will help you really know your worth. And then become aware of what your weaknesses are as an empath. Anytime we embark on any new journey, whether it's a career journey, an educational journey, a relationship journey, or the journey of a gift of being an empath, we always have things that we can work on. And that's our job and that's our duty on this earth plane, is to work on ourselves and evolve ourselves. So there's never going to be a point in your life where my self-work is done. I have nothing left to learn. I'm completely enlightened and evolved. No, our souls chose to be on this earth plane. Thus, we are here in the sense of like school. We are here to learn, and there's always new lessons and opportunities and experiences to evolve us. So there's never going to be a moment of I'm done, all the boxes are checked, I'm completely enlightened. No, there's always more to learn. So let's talk about the empathic child and the difference of an empathic adult. So an empathic child, which we probably have judged in public, are the children that are having outbursts after hanging out with other people, or even after coming home from school, or going shopping with you. The reasons why they have these tempers and these outbursts, and I'm not saying with every child, but with the empathic child that is kind of having a breakdown for no reason, it's because they've absorbed, and I know you can relate to this, they've just absorbed all the energy of their surroundings and the people around them, and now they're trying to physically and emotionally release it. Sometimes empathic children enjoy playing alone, and playing in groups can be difficult, or they just need to do it. You'll notice they'll kind of move into the group atmosphere, and then they'll kind of retreat to hang out with themselves. Again, it's because they're absorbing the other children's emotions and energies, and also the energies of the environment they're absorbing and of the collective consciousness. They're very connected to their emotions and the emotions of others. They're very gentle souls to the core of who they are. You'll always say these children, oh, they have such a big heart. They're so caring. They love to be in nature and with animals. Nature and animals really help them feel grounded and really help them release those emotions that are flowing through them. So for these children, it's really good to get them out in nature. It's even good to like sign them up to horseback riding, have a pet at home for them to nurture and just feel that sense of grounding and home. They definitely feel a deep connection to Mother Earth and the feeling that they like need to help her. So you'll see these children are big on recycling, eating organic food. They love to be in gardens. They really love to nurture and care for Mother Earth. The empathic adult. In one moment you feel extroverted, the next you want to retreat and isolate in your sweet, safe, comfy bed at home. So you'll notice that with empaths, they like love to be social, but then at the flip of a coin, they need to retreat. And that's the same thing like the empathic child. They have taken in too much energy, and now they need to kind of ground and recenter. Typically, empathic adults have a hard time handling large crowds. They isolate from time to time to rejuvenate, as I just mentioned. They deal with depression and anxiety from time to time too, and it'll turn chronic if they are completely lacking self-care. So for empaths, it's very essential and important that you really focus on self-care, which we will get into later. They need to feel connection and deep meaning in their relationships, career, and basically everything they do. This can be challenging for the empath because as soon as the connection breaks a little bit in a relationship, or as soon as like they're lacking meaning in a career, they want to end it. And that's not always the answer. We're not always going to be fulfilled in everything we do in every moment. And that's this the mode of the human existence. Not that most of your moments cannot feel fulfilling and give you some sense of meaning, but it's not going to be every second and every single day. So you might walk into your career and feel, today I really didn't feel fulfilled. And tomorrow you might feel really fulfilled. And that's a beautiful thing. So the empaths really have to learn in balancing and understanding, okay, is this a moment where I need to walk away from this because it's literally not serving any part of my highest good? Or is this a temporary feeling of disconnection that I need to honor and move through gracefully? So that's really something empaths might struggle with, and that you have to really have a strong sense of intuition and connection to your higher self and source to use that time to self-reflect. And by self-reflect, I mean really tune into yourself and ask yourself those questions. Am I just feeling, is this a temporary moment of disconnection where I can learn something in? Or have I been disconnected for a long period of time and this is not serving my good? Therefore, I need to create some kind of change. So I love this. Be soft, kind, and loving, but also take nobody's shit. It's all about balance, right? It's all about balance. So since you're taking this as an individual, this isn't something that we're going to go into. What are some situations that trigger you? But this is actually part of the questionnaire. So please feel free to answer that questionnaire, and we will go more into that. Practice mindfulness. Anytime you see theory into practice, that's when there's going to be an exercise for us to do. So mindfulness, if you are an empath, you need to practice mindfulness, because mindfulness is going to keep you connected to yourself at all times, no matter how many people you are around, no matter how complex and triggering the situation is. If you practice mindfulness, you can definitely move through it in a more graceful way. So some ways to practice mindfulness, which in your worksheet, this is something I want you to practice daily. Go through this process when an emotion is triggered, or you are experiencing an uncomfortable situation, or feeling overwhelmed with a lower emotion. Awareness. Using senses to check where I am in each moment and what I am experiencing. Look through the eyes of the creator, not only the receiver. Take full responsibility for every action. Detach from experience and become a watcher to understand your inner self as well as reactions. Release emotions, observe your reactions to your triggers. It's very important, the practice of detachment. When something is triggering you, we want to take it personal. And we almost go into this like victim mode of like, oh my gosh, they did this to me. When really this is just an experience that's happening outside of you. And if you kind of go inside and you're like, ooh, I'm feeling this. When this person said that to me or did that, I got this feeling inside. That's an alarm system saying, oh, there's a wound inside of you. There's an old wound inside of you that maybe you forgot about. And let's go into that. Instead of going outward and engaging this trigger with this person. It's more important to go inward and be mindful and kind of take this process of deepening and awareness, accepting that, okay, this is happening outside of me, but being mindful and having that awareness that there's more to the story. Maintaining healthy boundaries. Boundaries is the biggest number one challenge that I get from empaths and almost all of my clients. I'm noticing and I'm coming to understand that boundaries is not really something we're taught as a child, unfortunately. So parents and teachers and facilitators definitely teach this to the children. If we teach this to the children, they will be more functioning and healthy adults. Trust me. Maintaining healthy boundaries is essential for an empath because you can easily become overloaded and become heavy just by walking through a crowded place. Since you have the natural ability to absorb others' emotions and energies, even from the collective consciousness. So that's why sometimes when you're in situations, all of a sudden you're feeling anxious and there's no reason, or you're feeling like depression, or you're feeling sadness, or you're just plain feeling overwhelmed. It's because you're allowing all of this external energy to flow into your body and also into your energy field. Being naturally caring and concerned for others, empaths have a hard time saying no. This can lead to problems as you overcommit and drain yourself emotionally. Giving too much can lead to burnout and cutoffs in relationships. For example, when an empath has given too much, they literally have nothing left to give and they begin to isolate, which creates an unhealthy pattern in their life. Learning how to say no, maintaining healthy boundaries, and ensuring you are giving to yourself first is essential for an empath to live a healthy and thriving life. So in relationships, when you're yes, 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 and you're giving, and you're not even checking in with yourself to see, do I have that to give? Do I want to give that? What do I want to give this person? And when do I want to give it to this person? A cutoff can happen in the relationship, almost like I can't take it in anymore. I have nothing left to give, and the relationship is done. Is that healthy? Is that healthy to be like, ooh, 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 I'm giving, I'm giving, I'm giving, and then arms crossed, I'm done? That is definitely not healthy. That is absolutely not healthy. What is healthy is that practice of mindfulness that I really need you to become to love and to be have that become your normal breath of life and your everyday action of your life. Being mindful and checking in, even though this person is asking this of me, I need to go inside for a moment and check in. And I had this psychologist say this to me. I was a people pleaser, and I feel like almost all of us kind of take that journey of the people pleaser. And when I was a people pleaser, she told me, say no to everything. Say no to everything, even though if it's something you really want to do, and say, you know what, let me get back to you on that. I need to think about that, check my schedule, whatever lingo you want to use, and say no to everything and begin to create that practice of tuning in and respecting yourself and checking in with yourself and asking yourself, do I want to do this for this person? Do I feel it in my heart to say yes to this person? Because if you're not feeling it from a heart place, you really shouldn't be doing it. Now, if it has to do with your career and it's those mundane tasks that you don't like to do, yes, you're going to need to do those to keep your job. But what I'm saying is your relationships in your life, we have this urge to say, yes, yes, I'll do this. Yes, yes, I can do this. Yes, I'll be there. And really, sometimes we start resenting ourselves or the other person, or even not looking forward to the event that we said yes to because we didn't say yes to it with our heart. So let me talk about what boundaries are not. A boundary is not a separation. A boundary is not a wall. A boundary is not a bubble. A boundary is not a lack of compassion. A boundary is not a lack of caring. A boundary is not a lack of empathy. A boundary is not blocking all energies out. What is good for us is good for everyone else too. So I want to do an exercise. So once I read all these questions, I'm going to tell you to press pause and take as long as you need to answer these questions. Sit in a meditative position and close your eyes and begin to just focus on your breath right now, feeling your breath moving up and down your spine. Feeling yourself really connecting to yourself in this moment. Really connecting to that gut instinct that we all have. And also feeling your connection to your higher self around your crown area. Feeling this violet light entering the top of your crown and traveling to your stomach and solar plexus. And just feeling that violet energy moving up and down, strengthening your intuition. And I want you to begin to think of a situation or person in your life that you're having a hard time holding healthy boundaries with. And just breathe into that. Allow it to kind of float into your awareness, because the person that might float into your awareness might not be the person that you would think of naturally. So just allow that to float into your awareness. And imagine them right in front of you, and imagine the situation playing out. Feeling yourself giving your power away, not saying what you truly wanted to say, and really notice how your body feels in that moment, noticing the sensations of what's going on. Maybe your chest getting tight, your fists tightening. Maybe you're holding your breath, you're holding back, and just really allow this situation to fill up every cell of your being as if it's really happening right now. When you fully feel the situation is present and you've really taken it in, I want you to press pause and go into the questions. So press pause right now. Stay in this meditation and these sensations as long as you need to, and then press unpause when you're done answering the questions from the exercise. Okay, welcome back. So I really hope that you enjoyed the last exercise of the boundaries, and we're actually going to be adding on to that right now. People pleasing. People pleasing is draining. It may feel uncomfortable to say no for fear of letting other people down. We can all relate to that. Sensitive people most certainly do not like to rock the boat or cause a fuss. We also frequently struggle with the feeling of negative reactions or discomfort from others after saying no. If we've rocked the boat as empaths, we feel waves of disharmony crashing down on us. However, by constantly holding back, we also keep ourselves imprisoned in the cycle of always putting our needs last. The only way out is through. Not rocking the boat becomes a burden with a heavy price to pay on our own personal freedom. Saying no is learning to respect ourselves, which in turn means that we can connect with people from a place of greater love and presence. Saying no is about learning to navigate life on our terms. This freedom of choice has the welcome effect of giving our relationships a deeper quality, which allows us to be freer within ourselves to truly give from the heart. And that's what we talked about before the other exercise about boundaries, is people can truly feel when you're giving from the heart. And people will begin to respect you when you say no because you're not feeling it in your heart. The law of attraction means that we will attract people who embrace us for who we are, as others who don't resonate with us naturally fall away. We'll form new authentic relationships and friendships based on mutual respect, And we all yearn for that. We all yearn for those equal exchange relationships, but you're really not going to be able to manifest them until you really fix that relationship with yourself. So we're going to actually do another exercise, and this is typically a group exercise, but I want you to practice this on your own. And maybe if you have someone in your life that you really trust, feel free to bring them into this exercise maybe on another day. But some helpful responses to help you reclaim your boundaries and sense of self, and I would actually like you to add to this list, but some helpful ones would be: I hear you, but I don't resonate with your approach on this. I respect that that's your truth, but mine is different. I'm feeling a little overpowered by the way you are saying that. I'd like this to work, but what you are saying just doesn't resonate with you. I'd love this to flow better between us, but we have to find agreement on the common ground first. Also, please add to the list the one that I said before about let me get back to you on that. I need to process that and see if that works with my schedule. So think about something like that, again, in your own lingo. Now, I want you to go back to that active situation that we just brought to the surface in the previous exercise. And I want you to, in the spaces below, I want you to write, what phrases could you have said in that moment that would have respected your boundaries and allowed you to stay in your heart? So I don't want you to give your power away. So that's what we're trying to stop doing. So what phrases could you have said that would have been honorable to the person you were saying them to, respectful, kind, yet firm in holding your boundaries? So I want you to press pause right now and allow maybe about 5 phrases to come through for you. And then press unpause when you're ready. Welcome back. Another piece on boundaries, because boundaries are so important for empaths to really master. Mastering our boundaries, our attachment to others, meaning other people, energy, and environment, starts in the womb. We are a spiritual being integrating into a physical being, very vulnerable, very reliant on our mother's nutrients. We are corded to our mother in so many ways, especially through the umbilical cord, a channel of nutrients and energy that travels straight to us from our mother. We are sucking and pulling in the nutrients we need as well as the energy that we need. In this moment, we have created a pattern and behavior of connecting and feeling one's energy, an energy that's very separate from us. A pattern is created and recreated. When we birth into the physical form and grow into adulthood, we continue the pattern that we learned in the womb. We suck and pull in others' energy into our stomach, our solar plexus, and explore their energy there. Many times this backfires on us and actually causes an imbalance in our energy, injuries in our energy, and we start courting to others and creating unhealthy relationships. How to create new and healthy patterns of connection. It is helpful to practice this new pattern of connection through self-meditation before implementing it into our everyday life. Get into a quiet, meditative position again. Focus on your breathing. Maybe you're still seeing that violet light traveling through your spine. But now what I want you to do is push out the energy in your stomach and your solar plexus about 1 foot. Some people see that energy as like a gray inner tube around us that's surrounding us and is about 1 foot away from our stomach. And as you're breathing, just feel that energy, feel that force that's coming out of your solar plexus and pushing outward. And that's your energy, that foot that's around you, that is just for you, just your energy. And just breathe into that. This is all we're doing right now, is breathing into that. And that foot between your stomach and the inner tube is just for you. And begin to feel a sense of peace and calmness with you just being in your energy. And I want you to press pause right now, and I want you to stay in this about 8 to 10 more minutes. And this is you reprogramming this pull that we have to suck in the energy of others and place it in our solar plexus. This is you creating that new energetic boundary and getting used to it and programming a new energetic flow of connection. So go ahead and press pause. Welcome back. So what I want you to do is when you're connecting with other people, I want you to tune into what we've just created, that energetic inner tube. The inner tube that's 1 foot away from you is where you're going to connect and disconnect from other people. So when you connect with other people, you're going to push your solar plexus out about 1 foot, and you're going to visualize that inner tube around you. And nobody's energy should be traveling inside your solar plexus anymore, or even 1 foot. That foot protection zone, that's just your energy. No one's energy should be entering that except yours. So this is going to help you release corded relationships, heal injuries and imbalances in your energy field that have been created from you constantly connecting with other people there. And what happens is, even when they disconnect, their energy lingers there. This is going to help you also create healthy boundaries and healthy relationships, equal exchange relationships. This is also going to allow you to maintain a state of feeling clear and centered more easily. Meditation. Meditating every single day for at least 10 minutes is key for an empath to keeping your energy balanced and grounded. The meditation that I would like you to do at least for 7 days, maybe longer, to really feel you've mastered that new energetic boundary, that meditation that we just did, that's the meditation I would like you to do for 10 minutes every single day for 7 days. And again, possibly longer, or possibly you would return to that meditation when you feel you've kind of become imbalanced and I'm feeling other people are kind of crossing my energetic boundaries. That would be a good point to return to that meditation. When you feel that you've reached a good energetic reprogramming with your boundaries using that meditation, jump into a normal 10-minute silent meditation or play some gentle music on. So trusting yourself, well, actually, I want to go to this first. Loving yourself first. Putting ourselves first is a bit foreign to us, and especially for empaths, because we're naturally givers and we want to give and we want to heal and we want to love. It's not about being selfish or uncaring. It's about putting your own oxygen mask on first so you have the energy and breath to help others productively. Take time every day to do something to love yourself, because others watching will also learn about self-love too. And self-love is important. We really can't love another person wholly and unconditionally until we can do that for ourselves first. So I want you to think about, what are some things that you do to love yourself? And I have some things listed here that you're reading. And I really want you to think about, maybe even highlight the ones that you really like to do and highlight the ones that you really want to do for yourself. And I want you to make a promise to yourself that you are going to do something every single day starting today that is showing self-love to yourself. Now, learning to trust yourself. How easily doubt can creep in. Empaths have a tendency to hold the space for all people and opinions. Therefore, often the one with the loudest mouth or the most dominant opinion rules the show. This frequently leaves empaths to question doubt and talk themselves out of their own intuitive and authentic feelings. However wonderful this is, empaths are highly perceptive and intuitive beings, and even though they're often the quieter ones, they are most often the ones who are right. So get loud, empaths. It can be healthy to receive reflections and opinions and advice and inspiration from others. If you find yourself constantly doubting your own opinions and feelings or frequently needing validation from other people, then it's time to rebalance. Remember, nobody knows what's right or better than you do for yourself. I think it's a beautiful thing to get in opinions from others, listen to the voice and passions of others, and get feedback. And also remembering that there's many truths in one situation. So even though that's beautiful, that violet light that we were working on needs to shine and needs to strengthen and get stronger. So you should always know, even though there's all these other voices and opinions, you should always know what yours is. Not that you can't compromise and say, okay, you know what? I'm going to let this person speak their truth and I'm going to flow with it. And I'm going to let that person shine. It doesn't mean that you still can't hold space in life for your own truth and intuition. You should never let your intuition and truth burn out or even dim. And it's about learning the balance of, okay, this person has this truth, I have this truth, and I'm going to put it together like this. And we're going to talk about it in the manner of holding space for both of the truths. Or even though this person has this opinion, I'm going to still speak my truth and we're going to work it out. And know that your truth means something. And even if the person kind of rejects your truth, know that that's okay. You have to feel confident, okay in yourself with your truth. We really need to stop needing that external validation from other people, because once you need validation from other people, that's disempowerment. Now you've externalized your power because you need something to be told that you are worthy. So it's this whole dance, and that's a whole lesson in itself. But really know that it's normal for self-doubt to creep in. And it's also normal to allow the light of your intuition to dim a bit. And it's also normal for empaths to hide their authenticity. But what you want to do when you're strengthening your weaknesses or when you're strengthening your gifts as an empath, to really work on those pieces, the self-doubt, the intuition, and to be authentic and to show your authentic self freely. So an exercise we're going to do, I want you to go back into meditation again. And I want you to feel that violet light again, entering your spine, filling up your stomach, your solar plexus. Really focusing on your breath. And I want you to allow those doubts and fears to float in and come to the surface. Accepting your humanness, allowing your insecurities to come forward, and just breathing all of that to the surface, because you love yourself and you love even the pieces of yourself that you have to work on, because that's the beauty of this earthly experience as we get to grow and evolve on this journey. So taking a big breath in And as you breathe out, visualize that you're breathing out those insecurities, those doubts, those fears, all those lower pieces of yourself, breathing them out. And as you're breathing them out, you're making space to really connect deeply with your authentic self and your intuition. And you're making space for you to focus on your gifts, not our so-called weaknesses, not giving so much power to the weaknesses, but we're going to create more space in our bodies to really allow our gifts to strengthen and expand. And as our gifts strengthen and expand, our weaknesses begin to turn into strengths, and both parts begin to grow as one. So breathing in and breathing out those fears and doubts. And go ahead and press pause and continue this breathing in and breathing out practice for about 5 more minutes. And then take time to answer the questions as well, and then press unpause, press play, and we will continue on. Welcome back. So I really hope that you enjoyed this lesson thus far. I really like that ending process. So I really hope that you took enough time to really write down what your gifts and strengths are, and really come up with at least 5, knowing what your 5 strengths are. And what I want to shift into is protecting and cleansing yourself and your home, and what those tools are and how important it is. Your home and your car, because we do spend a lot of time in our car, in our office too, whatever you spend a lot of time in, those spaces should be feeding your energy. Feng Shui is definitely something you can look into, and I have some videos and materials on Feng Shui, and there's so much material on Google for Feng Shui that makes it easy for a person to do a couple things to correct the energy of their home. You really want a creative transmuting space. So by transmuting, I mean your space is taking the negative energy from you and raising the vibration. So when you have certain crystals around you, certain colors in certain rooms, and certain high vibrational sacred objects, even essential oils diffusing, even sage burning, Palo Santo burning, crystal grids created in your home, that transmutes the energy. So taking the negative energy and raising your vibration. So I have a list of amazing crystals for protection. And then I also have listed at the end some different practices that you can do to raise the vibration of your home, your office, your car constantly. And also the light shower that I love, and taking an Epsom salt bath. Those are a couple kind of bonus tips for you to put in your empath survival guide to help you increase the vibration of yourself, but also your home. Because why not have your home feed you? Why not have your office work for you? Why not have your car be healing you as you're driving to where you want to go? So by adding those crystals, or even wearing those crystal beads around your wrist, cleansing with Palo Santo, cleansing with sage your home, that's going to keep the energy flowing. So when you go home, it's also like a moment of healing for you as well. So I really hope all these exercises were really helpful. Definitely send me any questions, any comments, any feedback. I would love to hear it. And this journey has been so blissful, and I hope it's been very evolving to you and insightful to you. Namaste.